Hello guys, welcome back to another lovely trading video. In this one we're going to be doing some in-depth stock analysis on GETY. Reason for this is it is today's leading gapper, being up around 135% as we're recording this video. Now to get straight into it, we will be going on to the 4 hour and the daily, because this is where we're going to be able to find our solid support and resistance lines. And one of the things we're seeing on GETY is obviously it did hit a high of $35, has since pulled back to around $24.50. But you can see on both the 4 hour and the daily, we are actually past its third deviation. And when you see this, you usually know a stock is going to fall. And that's just because if you understand how standard deviation works, 68% of the data is going to be within these first deviations, 95% of data within these second, and 99.7% of the data should be within the green, which in this case is the third deviation. But yes, so knowing this, we really do expect the stock to kind of pull back to at least at a minimum 1475, as this is the third deviation on the daily. So right off the bat, that's going to be the key target we're looking at. So if you're maybe holding the stock short now, that would kind of be our first kind of solid target. Because yeah, when you're shorting outside of this range, it's usually considered quite low risk. Just because we do expect this to fall back to that level, but obviously it is moving at high momentum, so always take that into a risk. You know, don't be going in with a whole account, and obviously be risk managed with some stops along the way. But that would be kind of our first target that we'd be looking at, because that's where we expect it to reverse to at least at a minimum. Now to get other targets, we will have some smaller targets at around 1620 and 1420. These are both the fourth duration and the 4 hour and the daily. So seeing these, we do expect some sort of these support levels here, but they're not going to be as key as the third, second and first deviations that we're going to be looking at after. So 1475 is third deviation, then we're going to be looking at 1320, that's another third deviation. Then going into 1225, which is the second deviation, and then going down to 1175, and then a final 1120. So these are all going to be kind of key support levels, and on a stock that's kind of moved this much on strong momentum, we're more looking at support levels or targets if you're holding the stock short to the downside, because we can't really give any targets to the upside, because we don't expect it to stay this high, nor do we really expect it to go any higher. But obviously it is also possible for the stock to go higher. So if you're looking for resistance levels, obviously you can use that high of $35. You can also use the daily high, which will mean there's no after hours. So if you're only looking at a chart with no after hours information or pre-market information, then 2750 is going to be that high. So they're both going to be key levels. Then you can also just look at the strong psychological resistance, meaning $25, $30, $35.40, and obviously all of those. And as it's still quite a low price stock, you can be looking, at the 22.50s, the 27.50s, kind of like those $2 and $50 marks, because they are probably still going to be quite strong resistances. But really on this kind of stock, unless you're shorting, we wouldn't really be looking to buy it when it's this high, just because if there's any kind of halts, it is quite possible that the stock will gap down quite massively. We don't tend to hold stocks when they're up this crazy. But either way, those are going to be the key targets to the downside. And what is going to be our final target? So really kind of our final target would be around 1050. The reason for that is going to be the gap fill from yesterday, and then that will also be very close to the statistical means, which are around 10.30 and just $10 really in general. So really we would, if we are holding short, we wouldn't really look to hold any further going down. And if we were looking to buy long, we wouldn't really look to even go long past this kind of $10. For the reason being, we don't know where it's going to go from here. It's a lot more gamble whether they go up or down. So if we were looking to kind of start buying up this stock, we would be looking at around $9, $8.90 is kind of where we'd start looking to buy in. If we were looking maybe for a longer term trade, obviously the support levels, the second, third and fourth deviation, first, second, third and fourth deviation, these can be support levels you can use for more intraday buying and selling, but again, we're not really looking to really buy this stock at least above $16 because again that is going to be quite high risk. But anyway, that is kind of my breakdown on GETY. If that did help, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. Hope to see you next one, and that's it. Peace.
Maybe I'm crazy.